政務からのお知らせです。I'm Dave.
And I'm Wayne.
Safety Tips, Disaster Info App and Japan Life Guide App 災害時情報提供アプリ Safety Tips と多言語生活情報アプリ Safety Tips is a disaster information app developed by the Japan National Tourism Organization for foreign visitors in the country. The app provides push notifications of emergency earthquake bulletins, tsunami warnings, special meteorological agency warnings, and volcanic eruption warnings in 5 languages: Japanese, English, Korean, as well as simplified and traditional Chinese. This is a very convenient app for foreign residents as well. The app has recently become very easy to use with the menu at the top screen converted to icons. You can also select your language within the app itself. It displays the seismic intensity of any earthquakes that have occurred in your area. It has also added weather information, heat exhaustion information, and details on the different kinds of public transportation. Another app for iOS and Android is Japan Life Guide from the Council of Local Authorities on International Relations, or CLAIR, which provides free info in 14 languages for foreign residents of Japan. Please use this app to help in your daily life or in the event of an earthquake. There are 17 categories of information, including visas, living, education, and medical care, available to read in 14 different languages. The emergency earthquake bulletins transmitted all over Japan when an earthquake with seismic intensity 5 or higher strikes can be displayed in English, Chinese, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, Tagalog, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Thai, German, French, Russian, Japanese with furigana, and simplified Japanese.
Tax returns, 確定申告について. Income tax returns, called 確定申告 in Japanese, are filed by many income taxpayers in Japan. Taxpayers calculate how much income tax they owe based on their income amount between January 1st and December 31st of the previous year. Declare and pay the designated amount of tax. The majority of people receiving salary income do not have to file income tax returns. This is because their income tax is calculated for them by the organization they work for in the year-end tax adjustment. However, those with the following circumstances must file a tax return: people whose workplace did not do the year-end tax adjustment for them, people whose dependents require tax returns to be filed, such as those sending money to dependent family members living in their home country, people whose yearly salary income exceeds 20 million yen, and people with retirement income. In the following cases, even those who had a year-end tax adjustment can get a tax refund by filing their tax return. People who quit their job mid-year, have not been employed since, and thus did not receive a year-end tax adjustment. People who bought or renovated their home with a mortgage. And people whose total medical expenses were, upon calculation, more than 5% of their income amount. And finally, people whose circumstances changed to dependent due to marriage, childbirth, etc. after the year-end tax adjustment. There are certain documents which are necessary in order to file. If you plan to do so, make sure to ask the Shizuoka or Shimizu tax office what they are before you file. During the filing period of Friday, February 16th through Thursday, March 15th, consultation and document reception desks will be made available at Twin Messe in Suruga Ward daily from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Consultation is only available in Japanese, so if you do not have confidence to explain yourself, please bring an acquaintance who can speak Japanese. The consultation desks at Twin Messe are open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., but are not open on Saturdays and Sundays. However, as a special exception, they will be open on Sunday, February 18th and Sunday, February 25th. Please be aware that Twin Messe will be very crowded on these days, and make sure to enter the building no later than 4 p.m. Lastly, please be advised that all tax return-related consultation will be shifted to Twin Messe during the application period. Therefore, please do not visit the Shizuoka or Shimizu tax office between February 16th and March 15th if you wish to ask about your tax return. If you have any questions, please call the Shizuoka tax office at 054-252-8111 or the Shimizu Tax Office at 054-366-4161.
Influenza. Influenza is a disease that occurs when the influenza virus infects and spreads through the throat, bronchial tubes, and lungs. Influenza starts to go around during November and December and peaks between January and March. People primarily get infected by the coughing and sneezing of those with influenza. Different from a regular cold, influenza causes your temperature to suddenly jump to 38 degrees Celsius, a high fever. Common symptoms include joint pain, muscle pain, and headaches. If you experience these symptoms, go to a hospital or clinic right away and get yourself examined. If you are diagnosed with influenza, take the following precautions so as not to infect others. 1. Stay rested and make sure to get plenty of sleep. 2. Stay hydrated by drinking lots of tea, juice, and sports drinks. 3. Wear a mask so as not to infect those around you. 4. Don't go out to crowded places. If you are not feeling well, take the day off from school or work. It's especially important for members of families with small children and or elderly to get influenza vaccines every year. Starting this month, influenza will peak. Do your best to prevent getting sick by washing your hands, gargling, and wearing a mask.
Do you know what triage is? Triage o shiteimasu ka? When an earthquake strikes, many people are injured, as there is a limit to how much medical staff and medicine will be available. In order to provide the best treatment to the most people, hospitals check the injured for how bad their injuries are and how quickly they must be treated, and assign priority for transport to hospital and medical treatment. This is called triage. The word comes from the French word used when selecting coffee beans. As there was not a Japanese equivalent, triage was carried over as is. There are 4 categories of triage. The first category is Category 1, or red. This is for patients in critical condition who may die if not treated right away. Category 2 is yellow. This is for patients whose condition is not likely to deteriorate even if it takes some time for them to receive care. Category 3 is green. This is for patients whose condition will not change even if they are the last to be cared for. And Category 4 is black. This is for patients who are already dead and have 0 chance of being revived. Triage judgments are made by doctors. Depending upon the circumstances, judgment may be made by emergency paramedics, nurses, or other personnel with knowledge of emergency medical care. Also, those involved in triage do not provide medical care themselves, but are focused entirely on administering triage. It is the first stop for the injured to be taken to hospitals and clinics. Only those deemed red or yellow will be taken to hospitals and clinics to receive treatment.
政府からのお知らせでした。